coaches, and players, welcome to the Hodges Fieldhouse and Junior College Basketball. Tonight, the Iowa Central Titans will play host to the Bears of Des Moines Area Community College. Fans, coaches, and players of the National Junior College Athletic Association, Regional 11, and Iowa Central Community College are committed to the ideals of good sportsmanship, safety, and fair play. We ask all fans, coaches, and players to show their respect for the opposing team, game officials, and each other before, during, and after today's game. Persons throwing objects or participating in other acts in conflict with good sportsmanship, safety, and fair play are subject to ejection and prosecution. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated. We would ask now that you please rise, join in cue to our country, as Jeremy Smith, Director of Athletic Bands here at Iowa Central, leads our Triton Pep Band in the playing of our national anthem. Tonight's game officials assigned to us by the ICCAC are Dave Rickman, Tyler Eason, and Mike Tomlinson. Here are tonight's starting lineups just for the visiting Bears from Des Moines Area Community College. Number 5, Amanda Cartney. Number 23 is Shayla Dean. Number 24, Kelsey Kretz. Number 33 is Angel Goff. And number 34 is Samantha Hughes. Steve Crafterson is the head coach for the Bears. And now here's the starting lineup for your Iowa Central Titans. At guard, a 5'2" freshman from Des Moines, number 14, Rachel Tono. A 5'6" sophomore guard from Mapleton, number 20, Kayla Morgan. At forward, a 5'10" sophomore from Rockwell City, number 22, Michaela Grandmother. 5'10" freshman forward from Sac State, Texas, number 24, Megan Woodward. And in the post, a 5'10" freshman from Bancroft, number 30, Sarah Rowland. Charged led by Kelly Kruger, assisted by Candace Callowell.
And welcome. We are live with Triton Basketball. I'm Tyson Strayer here with Reese Webb. Today, we're going to bring you a doubleheader between DMACC and Iowa Central. Women play first. Reese's game, first game interesting. Iowa Central coming off of a win against 17th Southeastern. They didn't look too good in the first half of the season, coming on strong this last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. Last game here at Dennis Pelcher Court, obviously beating number 17, a ranked team in Southeastern, 51-40. That was a big win for Iowa Central. That was their third straight win. There have been 4 or 5 in their last 5 games. They've only dropped 1.
Yeah, winners out of 4 of their last 5, and really, this game a chance after going out and picking up a win against Southeastern to show that they're here to consistently compete with the top of the conference, going up against a number 8th ranked DMACC. We just talked about how hot Iowa Central is. How about the last 15 games from DMACC? They lost their first 2. They've won 14 in a row to close it out. They're 14-2 now. 1-0 in conference action after a win against NIAC. DMACC comes in with a lot to prove. They're still chasing Kirkwood.
Yep, both teams coming in here undefeated in conference action. Iowa Central 3-0 in the conference. As you said, 1-0 in the conference for DMACC.
And Iowa Central really We can talk about this a little after that first possession goes out of bounds. Now DMACC keeping possession. Dribbling around at the top of the key. Really, both teams, this is a huge game. DMACC has to keep pace with the top of the conference. Iowa Central trying to climb its way into the top of the conference. First 2 possessions go for no points. Iowa Central always defensively solid, but Reese, what have you seen on the days where the offense gets rolling? Because it's been inconsistent. What's the difference between a good day and a bad day for this offense?
The post. It's been the post. Sarah Rawling, Ashley Turcott, Jensen down there.
As you mentioned it, Sarah Rowling gets into the post, gets her first 2.
They've got to get the ball to the post. That's where they can open up the floor from. That's where they get their three opportunities from there. And obviously, the Rawling and Jensen, along with Turcott, finishing.
And on defense, it's just pure effort. Every one of these defenders, their feet never stop moving. Right there, Rowling bothers the shot. I think they're going to say she got her on the wrist. She'll get her first of the day. Didn't look like there was a lot there, and I think the coach agrees.
I believe Rawling fouled out against Southeastern.
She did with about a minute and a half left. So she'll have to keep herself careful here for at least the next 5 or 6 minutes, get herself back in to positive territory and hitting the first free throws and picking up the first points of the day. Angel Agath going to the line with a chance to tie it 2-1 right now with about 8:30 left in the first quarter. Can't get that one to go. Morgan will pick down the rebound. Morgan doesn't always put up double digits in the scoring column, doesn't put up many blocks, doesn't put up many stats, to be honest, besides assists, but is a consistent passing threat and is a very, very good defender at that high, up high on top of the key.
She's an underrated player. She never gets looked at enough.
Oh, and getting the layup to go. Unfriendly bounce for the Tritons on that one, but it'll go down for 2 on the break and the foul. See who they got. There are 2 defenders around. You're going to get Woodward for her first. And Sarah Rowling breathing a sigh of relief because she was around that too. Going to the line after the drive, Kelsey Pretz. Shooting guard goes. Generally a pretty reliable free throw position and a reliable free throw shooter at the line. 2-4 now after the 3-point play. Now Graffunder, we just talked about Woodward. Graffunder the opposite. That is a stat sheet stuffer as she tries to track this one down and will. When Graffunder has everything going, she's a little bit of everything. She can pass, she can assist, she can shoot herself, she can rebound. And
she's the best when she can drive to the lane.
And really, I would say that's a summary of this entire Tritons offense as a whole. They're very good at attacking the rim, but sometimes that jump shot does go cold.
Yeah, they love to drive and pass out to the wings.
Morgan. Now Toto just dribbling through everyone but can't get it to go. You see, it's like that. When this Triton offense has struggled, it's been plays like that put together in a row where they make good athletic plays to get themselves open shots, and then they just haven't been able to make them fall, or at least for the first half of the season, that was the story. The last 5 games, they've been shooting well, and that's why they've been putting up wins. Long 3 here, tracked down by Morgan.
DMACC got a good shot for 3, and it involved a lot of passing. It was great passing from DMACC there, just couldn't get the 3 to go.
Rowling sending up the pick, getting Toto a little bit of room. Now back to Morgan. Morgan thought about pulling the trigger.
Morgan, not a bad three-point shooter as well.
And there she drives against, well, let's be frank, didn't have the size advantage in the post down there. Gets it swatted into the wall.
So Rowling comes out for Jensen now. She's had some playing time here lately.
Especially with the absence of Mock. She's been used in that wing forward area.
She's been good in the span of time she's been out there.
Really, she's a solid shooter for her position, but where she really excels is post defense and rebounding, and that's something that no team can get enough of. This time the long 3 goes. Iowa Central seems to be willing to let them have that 3-point shot to guard the post, but there they'll get burned for it. 3 dropping for Dean. her first 3 points of the day, and it's on a big one. Puts DMACC out to an early lead, 7-2.
Right off that offensive rebound as Dean went for the steal on Curry. Now she'll drive in and can't finish.
And this Iowa Central defense now in this first quarter has given up more points in 4 minutes than they gave up in the entire Southeastern first quarter. They held them to 6. They held Southeastern to 6 points in the first quarter and only 12 points in the first half. 14. So already DMACC seems to have unlocked this defense just a bit more than the last few ranked teams to come into Fort Dodge.
Dean missed that 3 by the corner, but Curry just throws it away. So DMACC gets a second possession.
Yeah, and Curry there taps her chest as if to say, my bad. I don't think any of her teammates were arguing with her. She got a little bit of an eye roll and a head drop down there. Disappointed, but they'll have to take advantage of opportunities like that more. Battle down in the post.
Great block by Graffunder on the very tall Agath.
Now settling down. Both teams have been running up and down the court, now for the first time in the last few minutes, settling into the half-court offense. Graffunder is one-on-one, and she usually likes those odds, but she'll dump it out to Jensen. Not much time to shoot. 3 on the shot clock, going up. Can't get rim, and the shot clock won't reset. Woodward pointing. She's trying to say it got the bottom of the rim, but to my eye, it didn't look like it did.
So the first time out of the game, and subs, not timeout, excuse me. But it looks like DMACC's defense has been the stronger part of this game so far.
I would agree. Iowa Central has found itself its open shots, but again, this isn't a team that's going to... Iowa Central's not a team that'll go put up 80 on you. They're better at trying to hold you down into the low 50s and then see if they can grind you out at the end. Oh, but here they leave a 3 at the top of the key. That's uncharacteristic.
Turcotte, who checked in with all the subs, gets the rebound.
This is a defense that's usually really well organized, especially on the perimeter. They've had 2 open 3s early in this going, so you figure that's going to be a subject of the team talk next time they have a breather. 4 minutes left to play here in this first quarter. I think she traveled. Yes, she did. And that's just now, at this point, as it has been when everything has been going wrong, it's just little mental mistakes compounding on top of each other. But when they come back out of it, they're lucky enough to only be down 2-7 because they are playing good defense. They've just had pretty much 4 free points at this point. They've given up 2 easy layups on the other end, and now the traveling call is going to give it back. So we're going to see if they can get that settled back. We'll be back in a minute on the Triton Nation Network. And back coming out of the break, Iowa Central versus DMACC. It's still tight. It's still very, very early going. 2-7 right now. Iowa Central's defense, you can't complain much about it, but they've been giving away a lot of foolish turnovers on the other end that have led to transition points. This Iowa Central defense is good overall, but it's best when it can force you to play half court because they can bother shots like that. They don't get the rebound. A little bit of pushing and shoving under the net, and the call is going to go against DMACC. They got Aaliyah Brown on her first. So there, Iowa Central, that's what they're good at. It's hard to get a clean shot against this team.
DMACC putting a press on, but Iowa Central gets through that full court press.
And this press has given Iowa Central fits before. When it's displayed well and with speed, but DMACC doesn't appear to be a team quite as used to it. They're definitely not built around the press. And Morgan, another turnover.
And DMACC just pressuring the Tritons, forcing them to turn it over. That's exactly what Morgan did.
So you figure as they continue to press, the way to burn that is to get it to players who can dribble around you. Get it to Toto. Get it in Graffunder's hands. Long lobbed shot. I guess she was fouled in the process. She'll go to the line for 2. Rolling and Graffunder both waiting on the wings to come in.
Gonna get it on Turcotte.
Turcotte, a player that gets asked and gets brought in to play a lot of different roles. Sometimes they bring her in on the wing, sometimes they bring her in on the post. We've already seen that for her size and athletic ability, she's an uncharacteristically good perimeter shooter, so that's something you have to worry about.
And when we go back to the Grandview game when she hit that game-winning 3, she can also do that too. That's a good asset to have.
And you got to remember, this is a girl who came straight out of a quarterfinals run with the volleyball team. She's not unused to pressure in the last 6 months of her athletic career.
Be a block called on the Leah Brown.
Brown picks up her second and 2 trips down the court, and all of a sudden she's in a little bit of trouble.
Curry passes in from the sideline.
Toto fishing for it, but now kind of getting cornered in.
Now she's trapped.
Finds Rolling, gets the shot off quick. And she's trapped, but she did find the biggest body she had available. Rolling, well, I don't think she's going to have too many complaints about that. She just gave the foul.
That's 2 on Rolling.
Rolling, a disciplined defender most of the time, but the last couple games she's played a bit more physical, so she's found a few more fouls. Now she's at 2 within the first quarter of this game, and you have to figure, yep, there's a substitution. Turcotte comes in, Rolling goes out.
Short rest for Turcotte with Pretz at the line.
And Turcotte will get less rest with Jensen becoming a regular player because now she's not in a three-person rotation. She is the only big available on the bench.
DMACC back with that full court press. Trying to get Iowa Central to turn that over. They've already turned it over once.
They're not quite committing with it, only sending 2 forward on it. Now, really, the key to the press is to stay calm.
Graffender inside now finds Turcotte. That won't go.
I don't think Turcotte realized how much room she had to work down there. High and off the glass.
And the foul. They'll get the foul.
Turcotte did just about everything right there.
And she'll get called for the foul. That's 2 on Turcotte.
I'm not so sure about that one.
So Reagan Shockley will try to complete the 3-point play here.
That's one, even if it's a foul, the coach isn't going to fault you for it. You were pretty well straight up and down, and you did bother the shot. There she goes, rips the rebound out. Now it's 2-11, and now Iowa Central's in a place where these next few minutes they have to put up some points or get buried.
Jensen finds Graffunder, and Graffunder touched it.
They're going to say it was a clean block, no foul on it, and Graffunder the last one to touch it. Great play down there by number 24, Kelsey Pretz. So Iowa Central now needs to dig in. They can't really afford to, they're not a very high caliber offense. This is a team built around defense, so they don't want to find themselves having to make a comeback. They would like to keep the runs to a minimum and make this a grind. Dribbling over and from the corner, lets it go. Tipped. Finds Toto, and now 3 on 2. And she's just going to take it herself.
Coast to coast. Charisma Curry with her first basket of the game. It's 11-4 in favor of DMACC.
And let me tell you, this is a DMACC team, watching them warm up, watching everything. They have a feeling of a team that is firing on all cylinders. It's amazing what 14 straight wins will do for confidence, but they leave a 3 here. Oh, rims in and out, and the effort from Graffunder.
So new shot clock for Iowa Central.
Graffunder covered half the court to go get that rebound. Curry to Toto. Now Curry dribbling. 11 seconds left on the shot clock. 50 seconds left on the game clock. Turcotte gets it up. It's just a bit too much power on it. Now Graffunder fighting for it. It's on the ground. It'll be a jump ball.
It'll favor DMACC.
So the possession arrow switch. And DMACC will take the ball.
So in a women's game, 4 quarters of 10 4 10-minute quarters.
43 seconds left in this one. A 13-second difference between the shot and game clocks. 4-11. Your Tritons trailing. But really, at this point, anybody's game, and that's exactly where Iowa Central wants it. This is a team that performs very well down the stretch, so you don't want to leave them as this one goes out of bounds. Iowa Central isn't a team that you want to let hang around. Even if you think you might be a bit better than them, you might have the better resume. DMACC obviously has played the better first half of basketball here, but this is still not a team that you want to mess around with. If you can put them away, you want to. And so far, it looked like they might have a chance to put them away here in the first quarter, but Iowa Central's righted the ship a bit. Woodward, 18 seconds left on the shot clock. Now 10 to shoot. 11 before the quarter expires, and we're going into transition here. One-on-one down the wing, but now streaking in. Euro steps around, and there's not much you can do when a player puts a move on like that. One-on-one in the post. Jensen thought she had a chance. Shayla Dean said goodbye. 13-4 going into the quarter. We'll be right back in about 2 minutes with basketball on the Triton Nation Network with the second. And back here with the second quarter of Triton basketball. Iowa Central down 4-13. Reese, the defense looked good. The offense hasn't been able to keep up.
Right, and it's all part of DMACC's defense. The defense of Iowa Central was not bad in that first quarter. They only allowed 13, but DMACC's defense pressuring, double teaming once they get into the offensive side. Only 4 points in that first quarter.
Now, it's tough to say, but really what DMACC is doing means that the entire game lies on the decision-making of Toto, Curry, and Morgan. What are you going to do when they press you? Just like this. Now she finds her way out. And now just a poor decision on the pass. Trying to feed it into Graffunder, and now they're going in transition again, but this time Dean settles down. They leave a three. Bounces off the back iron. Taken in by Rolling.
Rolling back out there with 2 fouls.
You have to trust it's an older, more experienced player, and she's one of your better ones, so sometimes you just have to put it out there and hope that she doesn't do anything foolish. Woodward open for 3. This would be big off the back iron, tracked down by Turcotte. Turcotte looking for a place to go with it. She'll settle on Woodward. Offensive boards. Iowa Central's been getting them consistently, but they still haven't been able to get many second chance points. None so far.
Now DMACC going from a zone defense to man-to-man. Turcotte in the corner. Inside Rolling. Spin move off the glass and in.
Beautiful. This is going to... It's a weird complaint because most teams you find the opposite. Sometimes it feels like Iowa Central overplays. Like maybe they make one too many passes. Would you agree with that?
I would agree.
Sometimes they'll pass themselves out of a good shot, but this one from the corner. And I'll tell you something. Iowa Central has laid off, and they've said, we're going to protect the post. If you can beat us from the perimeter, go ahead. And so far, DMACC hasn't burned them.
That's exactly right.
8 minutes, 30 left in the half.
So now we see DMACC not pressuring as much.
And I think that's the key to the press, because one of the things I think when teams play press for 80 or 90% of their possessions, I don't like it. I think something that they're missing is the point of the press is to make you panic, and if you get used to it, you don't panic. Make them wonder when it's coming, this shot put up. And again, just not hitting their shots, Iowa Central. That's another pretty good look. And as a coach, it's got to drive you nuts. From the moon, a three, and now brought down by Woodward.
Now DMACC just giving possessions away there. The quick three by Dean.
6-13. Now a three. Toto can't get to fall. Woodward, though, good positioning, but you can't quite keep it in. And that's got to... One of the things that I've been trying to... Because, we call every one of these games at home. Because you're trying to point out, you're thinking what adjustments can be made in between games. And it's got to kill you as a coach, because really the answer to the offense is start hitting your shots, and there's nothing the man with the clipboard can do about that.
Right. You got to hit shots. You got to score to win.
Yeah, and it sounds oversimple. That's because it is rolling a little bit late on the cover, but she gets away with it. And also, wisely, she was thinking about... I think she was... With no fouls, I think she would have thrown herself into that a bit more, but she laid off. Griffunder.
Curry, a hard drive in.
And that's where Curry's best, attacking the basket. I'll tell you, when Toto and Curry both get on the floor, that's a lot of speed for this Triton team. Griffunder coming in, using her height to get a little bit of an angle at it, and now rolling, going in. Strong, but again, can't get the second chance to fall. The offensive rebounds are fantastic, but the inability to convert on them is the reason that this isn't a closer game. Or that Iowa Central, I think they'd be leading if they capitalized on 3 or 4 of these. It's 6-13. Iowa Central, again, doing everything right but putting the ball in the basket.
Thunder called for a reach in. That's her first.
And she usually not a player that finds herself in too much trouble, so picking up that first one won't be too much of a concern. Good defense there and an ill-advised pass. I think both sides have kind of frustrated the opposing offense. There's been a lot of mistakes.
Both defenses playing well. 13-6 in the second quarter. What do you make of that?
I think that these are two teams... What's strange is, looking at DMACC's resume, they have a good defense, but this is a team going in. They don't plan to beat you with defense. It's part of their game, whereas Iowa Central is built more around defense. DMACC can put up 100. They have before. Iowa Central's only done it once this year, and they only have one other game above 85. So I expected this to either be a defensive game or Iowa Central will get blown out. So honestly, the way it's going, Iowa Central's played this game plan perfect.
Morgan committed the foul. That's her first. It was a non-shooting foul. So they'll pass it in.
So really, besides the fact that they're trailing, this has gone exactly to plan for Iowa Central. Because what you were really wondering is, can this defense, and let's be real, this is an Iowa Central defense as a 3 goes in. And now a timeout's going to be called to give a little bit of a break as they finally break down and leave that three-pointer wide open and it gets drilled. This is an Iowa Central defense that has shut down a lot of high-quality opponents, but this is a DMACC team that has scored on a lot of good defenses very highly. So you wondered who was going to win the battle. So far, the answer is the Iowa Central defense, but the offense hasn't put up any points to match it. A short break here. We'll be back in about 30 seconds on the Triton Nation Network. And back coming out of the break, it's going to be 6-15. Iowa Central trailing, but only trailing by 9. Going to be Toto dribbling. 6 seconds left. 6 minutes left in the quarter. 6 minutes left before the halftime break. And really, one of the things I think this Iowa Central offense is really going to talk about during halftime is maybe a little bit of patience. Sometimes they get into an open spot, but the shot still looks rushed. When they find themselves open, they need composure to go up and finish just like that. And maybe that's what it's going to take. Because let's be perfectly honest, in a game this low scoring, if someone like Griffunder can step up and put up 15 or 20, that could be the difference as she goes in and gets a rebound. And when she's playing well, there's not an awful lot you can do.
Great play by Griffunder, putting a hand in, knocking the ball away.
Gets a basket, and then on the defensive end finds a steal. Morgan and now Toto backing her woman up. Now Jensen one-on-one in the post with Dean. Puts it in.
Nice shot by Jensen.
And now two straight, for the first time in the game, obviously, they've only scored 10 points. 2 straight trips down, hit the bank for Iowa Central. Around the corner, trying to get something, but they defend the baseline well. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Little bobble there on the wing.
Now it's the first time we get to see what DMACC's made of, as Iowa Central's starting to pressure with their momentum.
And now Iowa Central 3 possessions down with the ball. And offense is funny. Defense is consistent, but offense goes hot and cold. Iowa Central's got to find a way to get hot here with 4 minutes left in the half. Dribbling, looking to attack. Oh, beautiful layup, but too much on it. And put that on another one of the long list of almost baskets for Iowa Central today.
And she didn't have anybody to pass to. All of her teammates were covered. That 3 won't go.
And now, not doing the smart thing. I think not going to push it. This DMACC team has a lot of speed. Iowa Central has had more success in the half court than transition.
And DMACC now starting to rush their shots.
And there's Jensen. And how good has she been the last 2 weeks for a player who we hadn't even said her name in the first half of the season? She comes back and she has had a heck of a January.
She's been fantastic.
She's been one of the differences, and we'll see if she can be the difference in this half. She got 4 on the day. We'll see if they can add to it coming back after a 30-second break on the Triton Nation Network. And we're back, and it's a tight game, pretty much as expected. The resumes aren't quite even, but the last couple weeks have given you an indication that Iowa Central is the type of team that could challenge a contender like DMACC. Because, Reese, I think you can attest to this too. You've watched the transition. This is not the same Iowa Central team that played in late November and early December.
No, it's very, very different.
And Jensen gets a steal.
Jensen just took that pass away.
And at this point, honestly, you figure it's a game, well, we've had 18 combined points. If you can find one player, it could be the difference. Jensen really has a good one-on-one matchup down there, and I think they're going to look to her more. But for now...
Great pass by Griffunder, finding Curry.
And Curry moves very well without the ball. And her ability to do that gets her 2 points. Now Iowa Central within a possession. It's 14-16. Iowa Central, as they go in, DMACC gets his first points of the last 5 minutes. Goes in and gets it. That was Brown finds herself.
And in that first half of the season, Jensen was not playing. It was Mock.
And the defense was not playing like this. They weren't as telepathic. They didn't have each other's backs quite as much.
Also, Turcotte was still playing volleyball at that time, so they didn't have Turcotte either.
Absolutely, a lot of differences, and now Iowa Central is in a basketball game for sure. It's going to be a fight down to the end, but they're looking to play Giant Killer for the second time in 2 weeks. Comes in, and if you do that twice, you beat 2 ranked teams back to back. This 3 goes up. All of a sudden, people are going to start looking at you and wondering just how big of a threat you're going to be at the end of it. Another thing we can attest to, because early in the season, we got to see a lot of the practices, getting ready for the boys' game because the girls hadn't picked up play yet. This is a team that works extraordinarily hard, and a coaching staff that focuses on things and does not stop until they're perfected. And you can see that because just little things, little mistakes that they used to make consistently have been cleaned up. And it's taken time. It wasn't overnight. But the end product is a very, very good basketball team in front of us today. And to counter that, DMACC lost their first 2 to higher ranked, as this one goes into either higher division in the junior college levels, or one of them was to a university JV. And since then, they've been perfect. They've ran the table against this kind of competition for the last 14 games. So they come in with a lot of confidence, and you could see that warming up. Not a lot of tension on this team. But Iowa Central comes in focused and locked in. DMACC came into the shootout with more smiles and more relaxed. You get the feeling that DMACC is a team that has hit its stride, has shown what they're worth, and they know what they can do. Whereas Iowa Central is going out every day trying to prove in the second half that they're better than that first half showed.
As another left-handed hook by Jensen goes in.
That's 6 on the day for her, and the last 6 points from Iowa Central have been from Jensen.
It's back to a 2-point lead for DMACC. Their largest of the game was 9. That was early in the first quarter. Offensive foul.
Away from the ball.
So a chance for Iowa Central to tie this game up or take the lead here.
And yeah, there have been some silly mistakes, but how happy do you have to be as a coach? This is exactly where you wanted this game. You knew you weren't going to come in against a team like DMACC and have it easy, have your way. All you want to do is be close all the way through. And when this comes down to it, looking at the records and looking at the scores they've ended up with, Iowa Central, way more experience in tight games.
This now, for the lead.
Toto, almost getting the 3 to go, but Jensen with the follow-up. And 2 balls, pretty much the only way you can say it is they just decided not to go. Good shots from good areas. Now they leave a 3 open in transition. It's going to fall and go out. So Iowa Central is going to have a chance to get the last shot with 5 seconds left. And that's enough time to get across the court and try to find something in a corner on the top.
And DMACC will set up that full court press they showed in the first quarter.
Morgan gives it up on transition and then sends it in. They're going to say she was fouled on the way through.
So that full court press gets Iowa Central again.
They have had trouble with it. And like I said, you see that when you use it sparingly, when you use it in the right situation, you can take them by surprise. Morgan just lost track.
I think they might talk about that at halftime.
How to deal with it. And really, it's as simple as keeping a cool head, because if there's 2 on you, someone is open. And 2 for 2. Ice blood in the veins of Saladin. And that, they give up another one off of the inbounds, and 4 points in the last 10 seconds of the half of Iowa Central turnovers. And now all of a sudden, instead of being a 2-point game with a chance to take the lead, they're going into half down 16-22. Still anybody's game, but a huge turn of events at the end of the half. We'll be going into break now. In about 15 minutes, we'll be back with more basketball on the Triton Nation Network. And welcome back to the second half of this Iowa Central basketball game today, playing DMACC, number 8th ranked team in the country. And so far, Reese, they've hung with them pretty well.
Yeah, both defenses playing well. It's 22-16 as we get underway. Both low scoring.
Three-pointer from Dean, and she's been a killer all the way through the first half, too.
Both low scoring in the first half.
Really, the Iowa Central's main focus defensively right now has to be to not let Shayla Dean kill him. She's been about the only thing that's been able to. Now they're pressing high up into the half court. In the corner, and even when they dribble out of that press, it does make Iowa Central waste 8 or 9 seconds of that shot clock. Miscommunication at the top. Rolling's just going to have to shoot. Gets it blocked. Gerfunder has to put it up. Doesn't. They're going to say the block was clean, and now Rolling in transition. Clean block by Rolling. Good job getting back. Great effort.
Good call by the ref with no foul there.
Now Iowa Central after the early three, trailing by 9 again. Toto trying to put it back to 6. Gerfunder now fighting for the rebound.
It'll favor Iowa Central. So good hustle by Gerfunder. 4 defenders going for that rebound, and Gerfunder just stepped in.
Gerfunder really has a knack for anticipating the bounce off of the rim and getting herself in good rebounding position.
So it'll be a throw-in for Toto.
Toto has to get rid of this. We'll get into Rolling. Rolling's going to take the jumper. Another open jump shot just not finding its mark. 8:40 left. Reese, that was the story of the first half, finding open shots and not being able to bury them. Now Turcotte.
Turcotte, another jump ball. This one will favor DMACC.
Turcotte, good job not to get herself a reach-in foul there. Shayla Dean will go out and take the throw. (16-19), waiting for the throw-in as the officials clean some stuff off the court. Over here now they give a shot to the basket, but again, that Iowa Central post defense doesn't give up many easy shots, bothering it. Toto in transition. Good decision there. Toto, her eyes lit up when she saw herself open in 3, but she knew that Iowa Central could not afford another empty trip.
Nice decision to go off the window.
She took the sure shot because she knew that Iowa Central couldn't afford to have another run down, end in nothing. This one going, and I'll tell you something. Iowa Central, off of the rim, has a really, really good judgment on which way the ball is going to bounce. They have fantastic anticipation. 18-25. Now Turcotte at the top of the key, not a place she usually ends up playing, but they have her playing more of a guard-forward combo in this set. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Into Rolling. Rolling looking for the pass. Off of the official. And it's going to fall at the feet. Everything got crossed up there. 7:42 left to play. Now coming in. Bringing it into Dean. The newly subbed in Ayla Brown. The one throwing it in. Iowa Central, I'll tell you something even more impressive about it. They've been doing it all day. They've been shutting people down, and they've pretty much been doing it, as they get the foul here, straight up man-on-man.
It'll be a timeout for DMACC.
That time they just put a body on a body, no zone, nothing fancy, just out-athleted, and now we're going into going into the timeout break. 7:21 left before the third quarter ends. 18-25, Iowa Central will be back in about 30. And coming out of the break, 7:21 left, 10 on the shot clock. DMACC having the inbounds pass. We'll see what they drew up after. Oh, Dean going in, and she has just been causing problems since the opening tip. Very quick, a good shooter.
That's 3 on Turcotte.
She's going to have to find herself careful. Luckily for her and luckily for the team, she's not someone who they rely on to play a ton of minutes, not 30 or 40 a game, so she'll have an easier job keeping herself clean.
And Turcotte deflected that pass. Toto waits for the defender.
Beautiful hesitation with a purpose. Knew that she was being followed. Now it's 20-25. It's been said over and over in basketball, is this another empty possession for DMACC? When you play good defense, it's really hard to put you away. And Iowa Central definitely anything but away. They've been in this game. Toto dribbling around. Morgan. He's got Jensen one-on-one in the post. Tries to go to it. I think it was kicked. It was. She was really trying to hunt for that inside. And honestly, in this set, I don't think they want to play a lot of one-on-one DMACC because leaving Jensen one-on-one in the post has burned them a lot. Graffunder coming in, well-run inbounds play, but they can't quite get it past the woman guarding the line, so off the deflection from Molly Mitchell, they'll try it again. Beautifully ran play, just inches away from being an easy basket. Now coming off, we'll see what they go. Trying to make runs to the basket. Rolling, presenting herself, but they'll get it into Jensen. But Jensen, for the first time on the day, gets it blocked. 6:30 left to play as the DMACC runs in transition. Dean, good defense from Rolling, and I'll tell you, she's been pivotal. Now a scramble. It's going to be Iowa Central's ball off the jump. So for the third time in the half, the possession arrow being used. Curry's going to come in as Toto exits. 6:23 left in the third. Still whistle here as the officials try to sort things out. A little bit of a conversation between the head official and the announce table.
Only a 5-point game.
So 20-25, Curry dribbles. Over to Graffunder. Thinks about launching the three. She's got Rolling on the inside if she wants her. Opts out of it. Curry holding up the play. Now Morgan. Eyes up, looking for a pass. They find Graffunder open in the corner, and she's good for it. 23-25. They are going to give it a three. I wasn't sure.
So the closest Iowa Central has been since the opening tip.
Morgan hunting, and now one-on-one. Goes up and gets two and the foul. She's been losing that battle to Jensen all day, but Isla Brown goes up. Gets herself her first two and fouled. Now going to the line with 5:45 left. And she drills it. 23-28. Back and forth we go.
So that killed the momentum for the Tritons.
Iowa Central, though, still. They look focused. They look sharp. And we know it's a team that's going to compete till the end of it. Morgan. Miscommunication between teammates there, but luckily enough they keep it in. Still a chance to do something on this possession. She's being double teamed at the top, and it forces a bad pass, and now going in transition. She's chasing it down. And they're going to say she gave the foul going down and in the process of shooting. Morgan, who's usually reliable, has had problems taking care of the ball today.
She has two now.
Now going to the line.
Just no.
Drills it, and that's going to be, if they win, that's going to be an area that they really point to. DMACC's three throw shooting has been fantastic today. Very rarely leaving points at the line. It's one of the reasons they're up right now. Iowa Central takes a 30-second timeout, and so will we. Will be back in just a little bit of a break here. We'll say in about 25 seconds on the Triton Nation Network. Both teams break out of the timeout. 5:15 left. Iowa Central did sneak their way up to 23-25 since then. DMACC coming back with 4 straight points, trying to make it 5 here at the line. Kelsey Pretz to shoot. And puts it in. The solid free throw shooting continues. 23-30. Rolling. Toto. Morgan with a little bit of room. Decides instead to pass around Toto. Now to Morgan with a bit more space. Now she'll pull the trigger. Can't get to drop. Had to take the shot. Now Dean with the ball and eyes up looking to pick out a pass. Now inside. Important possession for Iowa Central, and they do shut it down. Not to let the run get any bigger.
Defense has been the story of the game so far. Score 30-23. Third quarter in favor of DMACC.
Has a feeling of the game that's going to end up in the 60s. It's been tight.
Toto double teamed inside, trying to find her way. The reverse won't go.
Honestly, an ill-advised shot. She did have options around her. I don't think she saw them. Now a 3. Can't find anything. And now Jensen with the block. Beautiful defense, and Graffunder will shut it down. That 3 would have been a dagger, and it came inches away. Iowa Central now. You figure they have to find a way to stop this run. Scoring here would do it. Now they're just being pressed up. Toto trying to dribble around. Morgan. Now she'll find Toto. Good defense from DMACC. Everything holding firm. And then they'll get the steal. Going to be Morgan trying to defend against Dean streaking down and rolling.
Right into their hands.
How about that? Rolling just covered a lot of ground and found herself stride for stride with Dean. It looked like it was going to be an easy pass.
Just got across in time.
Toto challenging, drawing defenders.
Be a blocking foul on DMACC.
Good call. Don't think she was in the process, though.
Be on Janiqua Clark. It's her first. Will be a throw-in.
23-30 here. Turcotte comes in, rolling, exits. Toto. Looking around, examining her options. Finds Jensen with room to work, and she's fouled going up.
Good find by Toto.
Been problems for Iowa Central all day. Been able to cause problems down in the post. That's pretty much been their one consistent offensive threat, has been Jensen down low.
Now Jensen gets 2 shots to cut into this lead.
Gets the first one to go. Goes to the line. She's already got 7 on the day, trying to add to that total. Already made it a 3-possession game for Iowa Central. Hits it 25-30 now. Over to Brown. Swinging it out to Dean. Dean passes cross court. Thought they had a little bit of daylight. Iowa Central rotates over and takes it away. Brilliant passing. And it's going to lead on the inside. They're going to say Jensen fouled. I'll tell you, they're not giving a lot of leeway down in that post. Jensen picks up her second. Gets a friendly roll off. Goes in. 25-33. 8-point difference.
Turcotte lost the ball out of bounds, but say it's deflected. Turcotte again double teamed by DMACC. Off and on, they've double teamed.
And really one of the keys to that, if you can, is to pass out of the double team before it gets that close to you. See it coming and identify the open woman early.
Turcotte again double teamed on the baseline. Gets it to Graffunder.
Grifunder one-on-one, kicks it out to Turcotte from the corner. She does have three-point ability, and she'll drain it. A huge three. Cuts it back down to 5. Now losing it, Jensen poking it out. Somehow able to keep it under control. Swing it out to the wing, open jump shot, drained. 28-35, back and forth we go.
Amanda Cartney with that jumper.
7-point game. Dribbling down the clock. Jensen sets up a little bit of a pick. Dribbles around it. Turcotte decides not to do it. Instead, dribbles around the challenge and airballs the jump shot. Good idea, poor execution. Going in transition and hitting the easy 2. 28-37. 9-point game. Iowa Central, you get the feeling they need to slow this game down. And here they are, settling back into half court. Now letting the three go, and it's drained, keeping them right back in it.
Long three by Toto.
Toto shooting from way behind the arc, giving Iowa Central a little bit of a spark here. Now down by 6, and now back to 8.
That pass was tipped, but not enough hand on it.
It's been between a 5 and an 8-point game all day. Iowa Central being a nuisance, hanging around, but they haven't been able to really close down yet. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Toto waiting for the lane. Hits it, drives, just too much on it. She's done that a few times today. Just a bit wild going in. Now tipped off, finding it. Good pass down, Grifunder! Comes out of nowhere, keeps herself inbounds.
What a move by Grifunder.
Don't know if it'll lead to points, but acrobatics down on the baseline. 22 seconds left in this third quarter. 18 on the shot clock, a 3-second difference. Toto dribbles and now kicks it out to Grifunder at the top. Morgan hand fighting, trying to get away. Grifunder can't find it. Euro steps under, and a beautiful underhand shot. Now they have to cover and defend. They got burned at the last part of the second half, and now nothing. They got burned going into the break on the first half. They don't let it go, but now Iowa Central goes into the quarter break with momentum, only down by 6. We'll be right back and see if they can't close this gap and see if DMACC is going to end up closing it out. Either way, I'm sure we're going to have a fantastic finish about 5 minutes from now on the Triton Nation Network. And coming out of the break, the fourth quarter. And Reese, I can't see a way this shapes out where it's not going to be interesting down the stretch. We got 10 minutes left to play. It's 33-39. Iowa Central, a team who kind of flew under the radar in the first half, and let's be frank, they flew under the radar because they weren't getting good results, has come out of the break. They're 4 out of their last 5. They just beat Southeastern, and now here they are with a chance to beat DMACC if they can close out. They're down by 6, which pretty much means whoever plays the best in these next 10 minutes is going to win this basketball game. Up and under, and they're going to say she was fouled going up. And DMACC has been killing them at the line.
Tough foul for Morgan. That's her third, and her hand got stuck.
And there's another point from the line. DMACC just has not been giving up many points on that line. When they've gone to the stripe, they've executed. And this one, they go 2 for 2 again. 33-41, we're back to an 8-point. We've been bouncing back and forth between 4 and 8 points pretty much for most of the day, for most of the second half to be sure. Now they're going to have to pass out this double team, but instead passes right into it. Forces the tie-up. Iowa Central will get the ball back, but the possession arrow will change.
Short rest for Grifunder as she checks back in.
Well, they can't afford to rest her, to be perfectly honest.
Woodward comes out.
She was the hot hand going in. Had a fantastic turn of events. Had a fantastic couple times up and down the floor right before the quarter. And they need her to continue that if they want to close this gap. 8 points, and now they're coming up on the double team. Curry's got to pass out of it, not waste much time. Instead, she dribbles around, whips it over to Rolling off the bottom. It'll go out of bounds. Iowa Central will get it back off of the gray touch. 33-41 still. Be a fresh shot clock. This hasn't really been a game of runs, Reese.
Nope, it's been hard-nosed defense.
Oh, Grifunder and one. They're going to call it on the floor. Beautiful. And I'll tell you something. One of the things that impresses me most about Grifunder, she has the obvious things that you can see. She's very long. She's very fast. She has a decent amount of strength. Her body control while she's in the air is fantastic. And she puts that one down, makes it a 3-point play. And just like that, look where we are again. 5-point lead for DMACC. 9 minutes left to play, and in basketball, that's pretty much all the time in the world. They sling this one over, one-on-one down in the paint. Rolling's going to win that battle. Won't win the rebound. It'll be a tie-up. Jump ball. DMACC will get possession.
It's been back and forth ever since the start of the second half, but Iowa Central just can't get over.
Now, this has been about the time. Every time Iowa Central's been this close, DMACC has found a play, and they find it again. Back to 7. 36-43.
Quick lob pass on the inbound. Just Carton, he just goes up and gets it, puts it in.
Now Morgan dribbling. Gives it off to Curry. Curry trying to find something, maybe dribble herself open. 8 seconds left to shoot. There Curry drives, dumps it off to Rolling. Good vision, and it'll lead to 2. Driving with your eyes up is the key. A lot of players would have had their head down, been going for the basket. She had her eyes up and caught Rolling out of her peripheral, made the right decision. 8 minutes left. Again, a 5-point DMACC lead. It's where it's been most of the day. Shooting over to the side. They leave a 3 open. Won't go.
A foul on the floor. It looks to be on Iowa Central.
Gotta see who they got.
They're gonna get Rolling. That's 3 on her.
And Rolling frustrated. I agree. Maybe there was a little bit of a shove. Not an awful lot down there. And they've been regulating that post area very tight all day.
And Curry fouls Dean. She'll shoot 3.
That's a killer. That's a mistake you simply cannot make. A good 3-point shooter is going to hit, between 35 and 40% of their shots. A good free throw shooter hits between 90 and 95. Your odds are way better letting the shot go from the 3-point land. That first one goes.
That's the first foul on Curry, but it's a big one.
Huge. And I'll tell you something. DMACC, if this holds, has won this game on the line. That's 18 points from behind the stripe now. They've missed 3, so they're 18 for 21 behind the stripe. That's phenomenal, and it's going to be the difference in this game if it holds.
Dean went 2 for 3 from the line that time.
Iowa Central down by 7 again. They haven't been able to get much. They've been able to hold it right here at between 5 and 7 points. They haven't been able to close it anymore. Grifunder, a mental mistake there. She saw Morgan open, forgot that there was a body between them. Three launched and hit, and now the lead stretching just a bit to 10.
Now Dean's starting to get hot.
Timeout taken by Iowa Central. We'll be back in a minute. 38-48 on the Iowa Central Triton Nation Network. And back here, 7 minutes left to play in this game. Minute break going on. And Iowa Central still waiting to come out of this timeout. It was a minute and a half timeout taken. So here, it's going to be 38-48. It's about the same lead it's been all day. It's been between 5 and 10. Pretty much, Iowa Central needs to play the best basketball they've played all day in this next 7 minutes, or they're not going to pull it out. If they do, they're going to have every chance to, so we'll see what they can come up with down the stretch. And a basket here would go a long way. Kill this run. It was a well-taken timeout. Stop it. Especially stop the momentum that DMACC had already had built up. Toto coming down, now slinging it. Griffunder takes it, gets it out to Toto. Wide open for three. Jensen with the rebound. Finds Turcotte. Finds Toto. Oh, and just rimming in and out. A good shot from Toto, and she had to take it. Had forever to shoot. Dean coming down. Now trying to track it down. It's going to go out off of an Iowa Central touch. 6 minutes left to play. 6.5 minutes left to play. Still a 10-point lead. Dribbling it out now one-on-one.
It's going to be a hold inside. Looks to be on Morgan.
Picks up her fourth of the day. And really, she's normally a good defender. She normally doesn't pick up fouls, but she's been one-on-one with Dean all day.
Dean from the corner. It's good.
Hits the three. She's been the difference. Now a 13-point lead.
18 points for Shayla Dean.
Pardon me, they're going to say her toe was on the line. Change that to a 2, 38-50. 12-point lead. They can't cut it down to 10. Now DMACC starting to stretch out a little bit. And now with Dean. Dean has showed a killer instinct down the stretch. Has constantly been the dagger whenever Iowa Central was just about to get in this game. She's shown leadership. She's shown a sense for the moment. Really, if they're going to try to win this game, they're going to have to make her way less effective in the last 5 minutes than she has been so far. Trying to get into Jensen, and there's just no way around it. That was a bad decision by Toto. Dean trying to make him pay. Almost makes up for it in hustle, but it's still going to be a turnover. DMACC going to have the ball now with a 12-point lead and 5.5 minutes left. Now over. Long three. Goes.
Cartney.
38-53. And now, as this timeout is taken, Reese, it's gone from a manageable situation to pretty much do or die time in this next minute. They have to bite into it at least a little bit. They're down by 15 with 5:20 left. So, Reese, what do they have to do?
He's got to drive and kick to the corners. Just got to pass around. Can't get double teamed anymore. And most of all, he can't turn it over anymore.
And one of the things, they have to put a stopper. She's been an absolute killer, Shayla Dean. You can't let her continue to step up in the moment. Every time that Iowa Central, it's a bigger lead than it has been now. It's 15 points. Every time Iowa Central has been able to drag themselves up close, it's been the captain, Shayla Dean, that's gone up and found the killer. They have to be able to know that she's where the ball is going to go in big moments and shut her down. In the middle of this timeout, Iowa Central comes into this game 9-7. This would be a big turning point. 10-7 looks an awful lot better than 9-8. But DMACC comes in looking to continue a 14-point win streak, and they have looked every bit of a team that's worthy of that. Honestly, I've been very impressed with how DMACC has played. I've up until these last 3 minutes, I've been impressed with how Iowa Central's answered. Reese, we've witnessed a heck of a basketball game so far.
Yeah, it's been a defensive show here tonight. The last 3 minutes probably haven't shown that, but most of the game it's been defensive shown by both teams.
And one of the things Iowa Central, while they were keeping them close, that they might not have capitalized on is almost giving away the ball here. Now a three. Launch, doesn't go in. Jensen fighting for the rebound. It's going to go Iowa Central's way off of a toss-up. So, off a jump ball, Iowa Central gets the ball back. But what I was saying before, DMACC looking every bit of a 14 game. Now looking like they're probably going to extend it to 15. But Iowa Central, up until this last 5 minutes, has played very well. This one kicks off of Jensen and out. It's just been little mental mistakes like that Iowa Central is going to have to readjust itself on. Because their schedule, Reese, doesn't get any easier from here. NIAC left, Kirkwood left, a lot of conference games left in the toughest conference in the country. So this is a game they're going to have to learn something from and honestly take some momentum from, because they have played well. You never want to use the word moral victory because actual victories feel a whole awful lot better. But if they can cover this gap and end this game where it has been for most of it, which is a 5 to 8 point lead, you have to figure that's going to open some eyes and put them on some radars. But they definitely don't want to let this one get out of hand in the next 4.5. Dean being harassed by Toto up at the line. They get her free. Awkward angle shot. Now tossed around the corner. Driving the lane. You can't get that one to fall. But I'll tell you, that little jockeying for position right there has pretty much summed up Iowa Central's entire day, or at least their entire second half. Pretty much every bounce that could have gone wrong has just found its way into DMACC's possession. Toto, one-on-one with Dean. Graffunder goes up, can't get the layup, blocked at the rim by Engel Agath. Now going wide open from the corner, the winger puts it down, and that should about do it. DMACC stretching the lead now to 18. Now DMACC showing a little bit more of that quality on the offensive end that's led them to 14 straight victories. And honestly, with this win, is going to give them a good chance to go to the top of this conference. After this performance, it pretty much looks like Iowa Central is going to be fighting for a mid-conference 4 or 5 seed, and it's going to be DMACC and Kirkwood at the top. But let me tell you something, this Iowa Central team, except for this last run, if they can find a way to continue this quality they've shown, winners of 4 of their last 5, it'll be 4 out of their last 6 now. Absolutely no reason this team can't make a middle to deep tournament run with the seeding they're going to be able to find. Turcotte. Now trapped in the corner again. I'll tell you something. That's something. They've really worked this offense up into a better place than it was 2 months ago. But that trap is still something that they're going to have to drill because it's given them fits the last 2 losses they've had. Now
Be a travel.
3 minutes left on the travel. 3 minutes left, and now DMACC in cruise control, leading this game by 18. And really a game, Reese, one of the true shames of this game is that it doesn't look like the end score line is going to reflect the competitive nature of it, as this one drops and it's been 20 For 30 minutes, Iowa Central looked the better side, but DMACC in these last 10 has exploded.
This game was up for grabs coming into this fourth quarter. But as you said, DMACC just coming down the stretch, just looking like too much for Iowa Central, but both played well.
And honestly, at times, Iowa Central is a very young team. This a jumper from the free throw line, just gets airballed, a rush shot from Woodward, and really no reason to rush it. There's no one around her, 2:10 left to play. This has looked a team that sometimes has gotten lost or confused in moments. It's a very young team. But Reese, I think a team that will take a lot to learn from this. I honestly think this could be another building step because they have stepped up in competition. This is a better team even than the Southeastern team they've faced. But this is also a game, and as much as you hate to word it this way as this 3, this is a game that in a way Iowa Central has played its way out of. It's been mental mistakes down the stretch that have cost them this, and there's nothing you learn from quicker than a game that you threw away. There's going to be a lot. I think that next week we're going to see an even better version of Iowa Central, as this is a game that they're going to be very disappointed in. Not only that they didn't win it, but that they let it go from being, a 6-point game at the end of the first quarter, a 6-point game at the end of half, a 4-point game at the end of the third quarter, and it looks like they're going to lose by around 20. So this is a game that you know is going to leave a bad taste in their mouth and not show the true quality of this side. Curry. Now dribbling, and eventually a thing that happens, Reese, and you could probably attest to this. Eventually, when you're built around defense and a team as good as DMACC keeps running at you, sometimes it doesn't matter how good you are. Eventually, cracks are going to show. Rolling is fouled and misses her first with 1:35 left. And she's 0 for 2 from the line. So it'll stay 38-58. It'll stay a 20-point lead. DMACC, who has looked impressive pretty much all day defensively, now is just starting to offensively flourish, but they won't get any points out of this. Rebounded and sent up the court. Curry now dribbling. 1:10 left. Game pretty much in garbage time, all but lost for Iowa Central, but still playing hard, trying to find something. And they'll dump it off to Curry. Now being dribbled, and another thing that they can take away from this, contributions from Turcotte and Jensen have been huge. Not enough to keep them in this late. So Reese, I guess my question is, you go in against the number 8th ranked team in the country, and you play them tough for about 35 minutes. I mean, before the 8-minute mark, the largest lead that DMACC had was an 11-point lead at one point in the third quarter, and you end up losing the thing by, it looks like it's either going to be somewhere in the 18 to 22 point range. Do you take a positive or a negative from this? Because most of the game, you look like you could run with anyone in the country. You just kind of slipped up off the pedal in the last.
In my opinion, I would take both approaches. A positivity out of this for staying with them, but negativity also for not being able to adjust to their pressure, double teams, and keeping it around 8.
Curry there picks up an easy basket walking down the baseline. It's 41-58 now. And that's going to be the last shot of the day. 5 seconds left. DMACC is just going to maintain possession and let it run down. I'll tell you what, DMACC down there, well-earned victory. They're exchanging high fives. Iowa Central at times made it a very nervous contest. Iowa Central trailed by 5 to 10 points for most of the day. DMACC in the last 8 minutes just absolutely showed the class why they haven't lost the game in now 15. They really kicked on and looked like a national title contender, which is what they're going to end up being at the end of the day. Iowa Central's defense not quite able to hold up. It's going to end up 41-58. That's going to be the final score. We're going to be back in about an hour, 7:30, with the men's game. But until then, I've been Tyson Strayer.
I've been Reese Webb.
You've been watching basketball on the Triton Nation Network.